Could the Philadelphia Eagles sign Julio Jones as a depth wide receiver in NFL free agency? We're going to start today's show with that. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for being here with us. On the back end of the show, stay tuned because Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, really impressing their teammates here in the early going. USA Today with this, that if the Eagles give Julio Jones a call, he would be willing to potentially reunite with his Tennessee Titans teammate in AJ Brown and probably be like wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 on this roster. Always a nice little problem to have when a future Hall of Famer is that deep on the depth chart if it does happen. Before we dive into all of this, though, who is your favorite Eagles player of all time? There have been so many iconic Philadelphia Eagles who have played in the Midnight Green, Kelly Green back in the day for what is a historic franchise, not just in the NFL, but all of sports. Drop me that name right now in the comment section. And Brian Dawkins, by far and away, my favorite Eagle of all time. He exemplified what it's like to be an Eagle. Hard-nosed, blue-collar, lunch pail to work, never scared, always gave 110%, and was an absolute dog. B-Dog, he's been the background of my cell phone for the last several years. Favorite Eagle of all time. Let me know yours down below. Interested to go back and see what you all come up with. So, with Julio Jones, the signing of Julio Jones sounds a lot of fun, right? Because we remember what he did with the Atlanta Falcons. Remember that touchdown pull away on, I believe, the 4th down back a couple years ago down in the ATL where the Eagles secondary just got dusted as he kind of turned around, put on the Jets, and pulled away. He was great for so long. He's no longer that player. He's been a shell of himself for a little while. Now, you look at the accolades, right? 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, a 7-time Pro Bowler. He led the NFL in receiving yards twice, and he is currently 16th all-time in receiving yards in the history of the NFL. His career numbers really are eye-popping. 903 total catches for more than 14,000 yards. Think about how many miles that is, right? 15 yards per catch and 63 touchdowns. To start his career coming out of Alabama up until 2019, his per-season averages were also astonishing. This guy was used so much by that Atlanta Falcons offense, and he was a big reason why Matt Ryan, Philly area guy, became the MVP back a few years ago. He averaged, during that time frame, 139 targets per season, 88 grabs per year for more than 1,300 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's great. You know what's not great? Him barely playing from 2020 to 2022. He's missed a lot of time. None of these injuries really all that catastrophic, just lingering injury issues that have been of the hamstring variety, something that nags him. But over the last 3 years, with Atlanta, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay, he has averaged under 10 games played per year, only 53 targets per season, 35 catches, and 501 yards. A far cry from what we've been accustomed to seeing from Julio Jones. Here's that portion from USA Today, that if the Philadelphia Eagles gave him a call, he could reunite with former Titans teammate AJ Brown and give Philadelphia a spectacular depth addition to its receiving group. Jones's health has been a point of concern in recent years, but Philadelphia is deep enough at the position to give the former Atlanta Falcons star the limited reps. He'd need to really make an impact and stay as healthy as possible. While the Eagles have a very good receiver room as it is, adding Julio Jones is kind of a luxury move a team like this makes to further elevate its Super Bowl potential. But I disagree with that last point there. You don't sign a player just because of the power of the name and what they've done in the past. You sign a player for what they can do now, in the immediacy of the moment. What is their value to the team? And I don't know if Julio Jones would be able to elevate this football team. Where would he fit in this wide receiver room into the equation here? AJ Brown, baller. Devontae Smith, stud. Olamide Zaccheaus, underrated. Quez Watkins, can he finally put it all together from a guy who's been known to be a training camp preseason star and actually translate that to the regular season where he can make plays a little bit more consistently? Speaking of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, If you think those two are the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. What's a better one? I don't know if you can find two wide receivers who are as good, as elite, as well-rounded, as polished as A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Let's round out the show with this. Some of the rookies on this Eagles team getting some rave reviews throughout rookie minicamp. In particular, it's the 2 first-round picks in Jalen Carter at number 9, and then the steal of Nolan Smith at pick number 30. Josh Sweat, very complimentary of both of them, who happen to also play on the defensive line with Josh Sweat. Look at Nolan Smith here. I was told going into the draft, and I even said this a couple of times, that he was a little bit undersized, but people were calling him undersized. I defended him because I said he's like right around the same weight as Hassan Reddick. This dude looks yoked right here. He has veins coming out of his wrists. How is that even possible? Does he look like a guy who's undersized? He looks like a dude who's in shape. So that's him. How about Jalen Carter? Jalen Carter looks like a handful for any opposing offensive lineman who's going to have to defend him either on the interior, but he can also pop out to the edge as well. I can't wait to see what his versatility is. As for what Josh Sweat said specifically about his new teammates along that front, the work ethic is pretty crazy for both of them. They're already working. Shoot, they're professionals, man. Like, it's actually surprising coming out of college, but they're working. They're just here to learn, and they're making improvements quickly. And that's a really, really great sign, because for both of these players in their rookie campaigns, they're going to have to make immediate impacts just because of what has transpired on the defensive line, losing a guy like Javon Hargrave, needing an edge rusher depth piece along that front as well, and you get that in Nolan Smith, who's pretty much Hassan Reddick's backup. For the Philadelphia Eagles to be as successful in 2023 as they were in 2022, they're going to have to lean on a couple of young players to make monumental steps forward. Jordan Davis heading into year 2, Nakobe Dean going into year 2, but also Jalen Carter as a rookie and Nolan Smith as a rookie as well. I think all 4 of those players could fulfill major roles for this defense that was top 5, top 10 statistically in almost every major category in 2022, and was a big reason why the Eagles were able to make it to the Super Bowl last year. In particular, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith are key additions to what I believe is the deepest defensive line in football that is so multiple and is about 8 to 10 guys deep up front. And you're going to be able to keep them fresh throughout the regular season if everybody's able to stay healthy so that they are fresh and they are fine-tuned for when the playoffs come around. Because what do I believe is one of the most important elements of a football team? It's getting after the opposing quarterback. And the Eagles are going to be able to do that with all of the talent in the trenches. You have Brandon Graham, who had 11 sacks last year, Fletcher Cox, who had 7. Jordan Davis is said to be taking massive strides. Josh Sweat coming off a career year. So too is Hassan Reddick, who had 16 sacks, 19 and a half, combined with the postseason and regular season. He said his best is yet to come. And then on that second-string defensive line, Milton Williams, I think, is a good backup piece. Kentavious Street, they signed as a backup. Jalen Carter, backup. Nolan Smith, backup. And I do believe that Derek Barnett does have some good football inside of him. Very, very exciting times for this organization. A blend of older players and younger players as well. If you want to interact with me to talk birds, do so on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Same handle on both social media platforms. Appreciate y'all for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe. EAGLES.